Hey everyone, welcome to the Naked Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Sage Hobbs, author and creator of Naked Communication, and I'm so psyched you're here. This show is all about taking charge of your life in new and inspired ways to create a life you deeply love. It's about being more you in all areas of your life, more courageous, more free, more alive, more naked. I'll be sharing stories and advice from amazing people around the world who are up to incredible things on how they are successfully breaking free from fear and old patterns in order to create incredible relationships and impactful lives so that you can do the same. This is the place to be inspired to live a courageous and naked life. Let's do this. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Naked Conversations. I'm your host, Sage Hobbs, and I'm so excited you're here. As always, thanks for listening and tuning in. It is the new year. 2018 has just arrived, and this is really a time of a lot of reflection and consideration of what happened and what's to come for many of us. So that's what I want to talk about with you today. Before I do, I just want to make sure that you know you can find anything I mention over in the show notes at sagebhobbs.com/podcast. And all sorts of resources are found over there on my site, as well as access to my book, Naked Communication, which is a book about really having the relationships you deeply desire and communicating powerfully in all areas of your life with your most real naked voice. And some free resources like how to make powerful requests that are effective and most likely to get you what you want. I call that the ask formula. And it's really this very comprehensive approach to showing up powerfully in all of your conversations and asking for what you want. So go on over to sagebhobbs.com and check out all that good stuff. You can also reach out to me over there if you want to work with me, if you've been looking for a coach. I take limited amount of one-on-one clients and I need them to be a perfectly awesome fit so I can really serve you. That's my intention. But that's where you can find out about how to do that and reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. I truly am another person on the other side of your earbuds. And I love to connect with the people who are listening. So feel free to reach out to me anytime. So let's do this. Let's talk about 2018 and this whole idea of turning over a new year. So I was thinking about this and how I wanted to speak about it. And I've spoken about it in years past. And I actually went back and reflected on my blog from last year. Like, what did I say? And do I still feel that way? And it was interesting because parts of what I shared last year still landed big time for me this year, and other things did not. And I really wanted to bring to you where I'm at now, what my perspective and fresh insight is around starting a new year, and how do I do that, and how do I feel like you can do that in a way that really serves you well. So goals, resolutions, intentions, all of these words, right? We start hearing them like crazy. Historically, people use them a lot to create kind of big, sweeping changes in their life, like losing this much weight or working out. It seemed to be a lot of the working out ones. Everybody says the gyms get a big uptick in January, which I think is kind of funny. I don't really care what you call it for yourself. I think that these things have slightly different meanings, but really, I do not care if you call this time of year an opportunity to set new goals, to create intentions, or have resolutions. What I do care is that you do something. And I care because I feel like we are really in a position of privilege in the West. And if you're listening to this podcast, even if you're not in the West, you are probably in a position of some privilege and some luxury of choice because you have the freedom to be listening to this podcast. You have access to this kind of media and this kind of free information and resource. And I really feel like that is a gift, this gift of having the opportunity to really reflect and consider what we want to create in our lives in the year to come. That is a privilege. It's a gift. It's a luxury. And while you might be listening and rolling your eyes and being like, Sage, I feel totally stuck and trapped and lost and clueless in certain parts of my life right now. Like, what are you talking about? It's a privilege or a luxury. I get that. I really get that you might be listening to the show because you want to be inspired by women who are leading courageous lives, who are making a difference in their communities. You might want to have insights on how to communicate more effectively, find your voice, leverage your power, live from a place of authenticity. And so maybe you're like, I'm actually not feeling like I have a whole lot of space and luxury. I feel very trapped. I want you to know that you have some power to reflect and take a different action. And that is the beauty of this time of year to me. It could be said that it's arbitrary and, it's just a 12-month cycle. I choose to believe that it's a beautiful opportunity to reflect on my year past and to consider my year ahead and really, really pause to put some more purpose and mindfulness and consciousness and power back into my life. And so I just want to invite you to do that as well. Just because you can. And not just because you can actually, because you can, and because I think it creates an opportunity for you to leverage who you are, your talents, your gifts, your desires, your longings in a more powerful way as you move into a new year. It gives you the opportunity to leverage a more self-expressed, meaningful, and impactful life. So, I don't care what you call it, I want you to do something. What I mean by something is I want you to pause to create and to really be intentional about what you'd love the next year to look like, what you'd like to experience, what you would like to make happen, perhaps what you would like to prioritize if you feel that your priorities have gotten out of whack. I want you to really pause. And pausing means an hour, perhaps. Maybe it's 10 minutes. I really want it to be an experience that's positive and playful and fun, but it really is mindful and intentional pause. Okay. So that's the first thing I want to share, which is just, it's about doing something. Call it whatever you want. Get a new journal if you want to. I'm a huge fan of Danielle Laporte's Desire Map annual planner. And so I use that every day. And I use that in the end of the year and the start of the year because there's some great reflective questions. And actually I can put a link to that in the show notes. However you want to do it, do something. I do believe that writing it down is best, in my opinion. So not on my computer, but in pen to paper. And I know that sounds super old fashioned. I'm sitting here in front of my beautiful MacBook Air with my nice Audio Technica microphone. So I'm not afraid of technology, but there's something very cathartic and much more creative for me in the experience of writing my thoughts about my New Year reflections, right? So I want to encourage you to consider that, just a journal of some kind, paper of some kind. You can put as much ritual into it as you'd like. I like to light a candle, maybe drink some tea while I'm doing it. I do some of it alone and some of it with my husband, which is a really fun thing that I'll talk to you more about. So the first thing is just to do something, to intentionally pause, reflect, and consider what's to come. The second way that I do this is to focus on celebrations. So in this pause moment of reflection with your pen and paper out, I really want you to write down all of the things that are worth celebrating. So things that you've accomplished, both little and big, whatever that means to you. All the good things that happened, good fortunes that came your way, blessings, happy moments, things that were joyful. Milestones with your kids, milestones with your work, milestones with your well-being. And when you do this, it's insane what you will see. You will really, really begin to see how much you created in your life in a 12-month period in the year prior. So it's beautiful. It's an incredible practice. If you're not somebody who's been doing a regular gratitude practice, it's a great way to sort of play catch up, right? To squeeze it in at the 11th hour. And really, there's two reasons for this. So focusing on your wins or your celebrations more than your shortcomings or failures is a way of really training your brain, training your mindset to see the richness of your life. And the more you do this, the easier it is to do this. And it really, really makes you happier. And I'm not being, Pollyanna-ish. I'm not living in la la land. Believe me, I have 2 feet firmly planted on the ground. For those of you who know me, I've had my own significant personal challenges with cancer and so on and so forth, right? So I'm not saying this because it's like, only see the good, only see the good. I know that hard things happen in life. I really do. I had some very big, painful things myself this year. But I also know more than anything that when I pay attention to what's working, what's going well, what my blessings are, I experience them more. I feel them more. I feel the moments of happiness. I feel the moments of success and accomplishment more. So I want you to write them down. Everything that you can think of, just brain dump it out. Don't overconsider of what has been beautiful or worked well in your life, because that's how you train your brain to see those things more easily. And it's how you honor yourself for what you've created. So it's two things. It's training yourself to see them, these positive successes in your life, to see the joy and the goodness in your life. And it's really honoring the richness that you have built, okay, or that you've been blessed to receive. So that's the second thing, is to focus on celebrations, right? And the third thing is to reflect and release, which is, this is where, like I said, I don't live with my head totally in the clouds. This is where I like to ask myself some questions around what didn't go so great. Where did I hold myself back? Or where did I fall short of my dreams, goals, ambitions, intentions, resolutions, right? And a big one for me is, did I make the contribution this year that I had hoped to? So most of you who listen to the show have some desire to be of service, to make a contribution in your community, in your family. There's some way in which you want to show up meaningfully in your life, to create a legacy, to give back in some way. And so one question that I ask myself is, did I serve in the way that I'd hoped to? Did I make the contribution that I had hoped to make? And I don't ask these questions around falling short and holding back to beat myself up around my failures. I ask them so I can see, where were my blind spots? Where did I let things become low on the priority list that I intended to prioritize more? What stopped me? Which of my fears got in the way, or which skills did I not have to accomplish them? I really want a reality check of what didn't go as I would have hoped. And then once I have those things written down, with self-compassion, people, I'm saying this to myself as much as to you, I try to let them go. And what I mean by let them go is I don't not care about them anymore. Perhaps they go back on my 2018 list, right? Or maybe they don't, if they're just not that important to me anymore. But if there's something that I really care about where I held back or didn't show up fully, I might put them back on my 2018 list. But I'm giving myself a lot of compassion around the fact that they didn't go as planned. So I have a tendency, and I know you listening, you very bright, passionate, hardworking women, I know that many of you would probably be the same, to beat myself up, right? To be my own worst critic. And this is the opportunity just to compassionately let them go. I might do some cord cutting. I might do a burning ritual, writing them down and burning them. I might do some releasing, just release, release, release. I might have my hand over my heart and take 3 deep breaths. Whatever rituals work for you, it's time to just let go of the shortcomings of 2017, compassionately and lovingly release them off so you can set new goals, intentions, resolutions, again, whatever you want to call them, from a fresh, clean slate. And the last thing, everybody, and you know I'm a big proponent of this, is to let it be fun. Let it be fun. So I like to think in big themes. Like, I want to feel strong. I want to feel brave. I want to feel free and adventurous, okay, in 2018. And then I list out a few things that I could do that would help me fulfill those themes. So we're taking a huge family trip this summer to Europe. That's a big deal for us. We're going to go live in Spain for a month and see friends in Spain and England and Switzerland. I happen to have college roommates all over the place. That would fulfill my desire for adventure and freedom. Wellness. I'm reintroducing yoga back into my life after a year of stopping my practice, and that's been a really big missing for me. So I want to feel well and I want to feel strong. So I've been doing a little running with my husband, which I'm scared of and pretty much hate, but have sort of started to feel like that strength inside of me again that I want to reconnect with. So let it be playful. Let it be fun. Do it with a friend if you want to. One of my girlfriends and I always do this together with a vision board every year. And my husband and I usually have a glass of wine and we talk about what are the things we want to do together as a couple and as a family in 2018. Let there be some spaciousness. Let there be some creativity. Let them be some dreaming. Let there be some imagination. But again, let it be an intentional pause to create, reflect, and enjoy. So that's what I just want to invite you to do. So this is me telling you that my 2017 had extraordinary highs and some significant lows. And that is the human experience when you show up to live a real, raw, naked life. That is what it takes to be a leader. That is what it takes to showcase your gifts and your strengths and talents in a more public way. It's a ride. It's a journey. It's a roller coaster. And this moment in time, flipping over into the new year, is an opportunity to reflect on the ride, to reflect on what was good, what wasn't so good, and how do I want to intentionally create the year moving forward, and really feel that sense of gratitude for the opportunity to have choice in your life and the opportunity to press pause and do this exercise. So please let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at sage@sagebhobbs.com about your New Year's process. And if you have ideas, I'd love to hear them from you so I can share them with our audience. It is such a gift for me to do this podcast with you. If you love the podcast, please share it with your friends and your family and anybody who you know is a woman out there striving to create a meaningful, impactful, and powerful experience for herself. Actually, 2017, one of my favorite, biggest, best celebrations is this show. So thank you for being a part of it. It means the world to me. And I can't wait to continue on this journey with you in 2018. Have a fabulous new beginning. Thank you so much for listening to Naked Conversations. Yay! It really means the world to me every time you show up. And if you want to know more about how to work with me personally and my coaching, you can check that out over at sagebhobbs.com. You can also get some great free resources over there about how to make powerful requests and many blog posts full of resources for living a naked life, as well as grab a copy of my book, Naked Communication, Courageously Create the Relationships You Really Want. And lastly, keep the conversation going with us over in the Facebook community, sagebhobbs.com/Facebook, where we can keep talking about these super important and powerful topics of living a life fully expressed. Thanks again. See you next time.